Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of BlueSync. Can you guys hear me okay and see my screen? Yep, got a thumbs up. Perfect. Okay, so today we are going to be going over listings to leads. I know we did this not too long ago, but it really is a great tool. So it's always good to just kind of do a quick refresh on all of the things that that tool offers. So first, I'm going to kind of show how to get to listings to leads in case you don't know. One of the easiest ways, the way that I always like to access it, is by going directly through Moxie. So here I'm signed into my CB Desk account. I'm going to click on the Moxie Work Square. You can always access listings to leads by just Googling or searching listings2leads.com. That will take you to the same place, but like I said, this is just the way that I always do it. So once I'm in here, I'm going to click on my profile icon in the upper right-hand corner and go down to where it says external links. And then down here towards the bottom is going to be our listings to leads platform. The login page might look different each time you click on it. Sometimes it takes you directly to where your login credentials are. Otherwise, it takes you to this page. This is the page that you'll most likely see if you just do a Google search of listings2leads.com. To get to where you log in, up in the upper right-hand corner, there is a login button. You click that, and then I have my credentials saved for the Traverse City page. Enter yours in if they're not saved, and then hit the login button. And here we are. So this automatically opens you up into your dashboard. Before we really take a look at that, I am going to jump into our profile section. So this left-hand side over here is going to be where all of our different navigation tools are within the platform. So I'm going to scroll to the very bottom and go to where it says profile. Like I said, this is an office page, but this will look the same whether it is an individual agent page or an office page. Always a good idea to double check all of the information here in the profile section. You want to make sure that your name is spelled correctly, that your phone number is correct, email, all that good stuff. You also have a place to put in your headshot or company logo if you're an office page and you prefer to do that. So this is just a good idea to kind of go in here and double check that all of the information appears correctly and the way that you want it to. Sometimes when these pages get set up, we use maybe a legal name instead of the name that the agent goes by or something like that. So I always like to remind people to just take a quick peek at this before they, start using the platform. Next, I'm going to jump into up across the top where it says auto posting. This is going to be where we can quickly connect any of our social media accounts. So everything here is what is available to be connected through listings to leads. Most common one is Facebook right there at the very top. Adding a page to the account is relatively easy. I'm not going to go through all the steps, but it does walk you through it. All you have to do is click the connect button, and then it will walk you through the steps on how to link a page. We do always want to make sure that we're linking a business page, so a business profile, not a personal page. So that is important, especially if you are working with agents and they are trying to connect a page. We want to make sure that it is a business profile. Once you do have your page in here and connected, if you want to do auto posting, you'll want to switch these buttons over here, either on or off, and then save your settings right here by clicking the green save button. So if you do add a page, always remember if you're wanting the auto posting to go on, to click the toggle to turn it on as well. And there is another place where we will go to actually look into what some of those auto posting posts will look like. So we'll get to that in just a moment. But this is just a quick and easy way to kind of add the page in right from the beginning if you are wanting to do that. Okay, that's all I'm going to cover here in the profile section. So now we're going to jump back into where our dashboard was. So up across the top of that left-hand navigation, I'm going to go to dashboard. And this is going to be just a really good way to kind of have a quick glance at the overall Listings to Leads profile that you have. So it's going to show just a quick breakdown of everything you have going on. This is a good page to kind of check on things, especially if you're an agent, just to see, you know, what your interactions are for the month, how your listings are doing, all of that good stuff. The other thing that I like to point out is down in the bottom left-hand corner, this will appear on, I believe, all of the pages throughout Listings to Leads. There's a little magic wand. And if you click on that, it is going to open up the support center for Listings to Leads. So if you are ever wanting more information about a specific part of Listings to Leads, or you are, you know, stuck on something and you want to try and troubleshoot it yourself, you can always click in here. They have it kind of broken down by category, or you can search different things to get support. And then if you still can't find what you need, you can always do a contact us and get a hold of someone to help answer your question. So that's a useful tool. Like I said, I believe that that shows up on the bottom of any of these pages we're going to be on, but I always like to point that out because I like to kind of find things myself if I can. So that's a good way to kind of go through and do that. Okay, next we're going to move into the listings, kind of the meat of the whole platform. So on the left-hand side, I'm going to jump down to where it says listings. And all of your listings, whether you are an agent or working off of a office page, it should automatically pull all of the listings in for you. However, sometimes that does not happen. So you can add in listings if you find one or a couple that are missing. If you click this green add listing button up at the top, you can either do a manual listing. So that's great if you have maybe a for sale by owner, something off market that you want to add in and still market. You can add a manual listing that way. The easiest way to add listings is by doing the grab a listing. And when you do that, all you have to do is select the agent name that you want to assign that listing to, enter in the zip code of the listing, the MLS number, and then down here at the bottom, this is actually a cool feature that they have. So you can check or uncheck if this is the agent's listing. So for example, say you have an agent that's going to be covering a house for an open house or just helping to market it a little bit. Maybe you have two agents that have kind of buddied up. You can add a listing to a agent's profile, even if it isn't theirs. So then they can go in, it will still be marketed to the listing agent, but they can go in and do some marketing for it, you know, get content for open houses, any of that kind of stuff. So this is a cool feature as well. Obviously, typically, if you're grabbing a listing, it is going to be for the agent that you're selecting up here. But always remember that that is an option down there at the bottom. Once you have the zip code and the MLS number entered in, you just click grab and it will pull everything in. It'll pull the pictures, the description, all of that good stuff. Sometimes it does take a couple minutes for that to happen, but it does work pretty quickly. So that is an option if you find that there are listings that are missing and you want to add them in. As far as the listings go, you can see there is the status buttons here. These should update with the MLS, but you do have the ability to manually update them if you would like to as well. And then we're going to click into the green market listing button. And as you can see over here on the left-hand side, these are all of the different ways that Listings2Leads offers different marketing strategies and marketing types for this specific listing. So this is obviously a ton of options here, but we do want to go over just a couple of them to make sure that these are the most popular options, make sure that you guys know what they are and how to use them. So the first one is going to be this social media post. And this is going to be just a specific post here that is for this specific property. You can see that we are currently on the Facebook platform, and you do have the ability to edit both the text and the image. So if you don't like the way that this image looks on the social media share, you can change what layout it is. They have a ton of different options. Whenever you're clicking and making changes, you always want to hit that save button if you want to save them. And then from there, if you have your social media account connected, all you would do is click the post now, or you can even schedule it for a specific day and time if you would like to. So that is kind of the easy way to do just a quick automated post. It's already kind of built out for you. So it's great if you are someone who doesn't really like to have to create all of the content for the post, but you still want to get the post out there and share it on your page. It's a really good option to do that. Let's see. They also have short form video scripts. These are helpful. As you know, we say it all the time, social media, the best way to grab people's attention is by doing videos. And these are just super quick scripts that they kind of create for you for each listing that you can make, you know, a minute-long video, sometimes less, just to give a quick introduction of the specific listing. So they do also give you option to download a teleprompter app. I did download this once just to see kind of how it worked. And it does kind of just give you a nice flowing screen of all of the words that you would want to say. So if you are videoing yourself, you can kind of look at that and you don't have to, you know, memorize this or be holding a piece of paper or something to share that. So this is a good option. Video is always great. We always try and get our agents to do that. It's hard to get them to do that, but this is a super good option. And like I said, it's all kind of pre-built out, so it makes it a lot easier for them to kind of do it and take some of the pressure off. Next, right below that is the single property website. So Listings2Leads, anytime you are sharing a listing, it is going to kind of create a property web page for that specific listing. This is just like the listing pages that we have from, you know, our Coldwell Banker websites. They just kind of give the basic property details. I'll click into a preview. So it's going to have the listing agent, the basic information, pictures, all of that good stuff. But it is going to be geared towards getting those listings. So as you can see, we have this pop-up now that came up. There's no way to click out of it. So this is where that lead gathering kind of comes in. They have to either continue with their Facebook account or sign up with their email to be able to view the rest of the information, which then turns into a lead for the agent. So that's why Listings2Leads, we love the platform, gathers all those leads for us. So that is what these single property websites are. Whenever you are sharing a listing from the platform, it will share that property website, which will then prompt people to enter in their information and give those leads to the agent. So super easy to use. The other thing that I like to use is the QR code. So towards the bottom here. This is great if you are creating your own kind of marketing material and you want to have an easy to access web page. It will, again, take them to that single property website. You can download this QR code in whatever format you are wanting to use and use that on any of your marketing products that you're creating. So again, super great and easy. Takes you to that single property website which then prompts them to put in their information, turns into the leads. We love the leads. So another great tool. And like I said, all of these things in here are great marketing assets. I'm not going to go over all of them because there's a million of them, but that's just a couple of the most popular ones, I would say. The next thing I'm going to touch on is the landing pages. So again, over here on our left-hand side, I'm going to go to where it says landing pages. And these landing pages are different from the single property websites. These are pages that you're actually going to use to share and gather leads that aren't tied to a listing. So landing pages, the most popular one is going to be a home value page. And I'll show you how to kind of quickly create one of those. So we're going to click the green Create Landing Page button. It's going to ask you what type of landing page you want to create. We're just going to do a basic property valuation. Have to give it a name. I would recommend just giving it maybe the city name that you're going to target it towards, or your general area, whatever you would prefer, and then click that Create Landing Page button. Sometimes it takes a moment. Very slow today. But these landing pages are great to share to Facebook pages, social media of any kind, because again, they're going to be geared towards actually getting those leads brought in through Listings2Leads on a property valuation page. So I'm going to click the Open Editor button here so we can see what we got. These are all going to look exactly the same when you are trying to first build the landing page, but you do have a lot of options for customization. Brenda had a good question. What is the landing page versus a Facebook post? So the landing page is something that you could potentially use to post to Facebook. So you could use this landing page as a post to Facebook, and it is going to show up and let people click on it, and then they would enter in their property address, and then on the next click after they click Get Value Estimate, it will show a place where they can enter in their information. You have the option to collect, I think, email, phone number, and then their name, obviously, and then that turns into the lead. So maybe as we kind of walk through this, it'll answer your question a little bit more, but these landing pages can be used as a social media post to generate those leads. Most specifically, I think that they work best when a specific agent page is doing these, not so much an office page, but you can still use them in an office Facebook setting if you would like to as well. So like I said, they all look the same when you first make them, so customization is key. First thing you can do here is change this background image. They have a ton of stock images, or you can choose from previous listings or upload new images if you would like. I'm just going to click one and hit insert. I would definitely recommend doing some customization on these, even if it's just simple, even if it's just changing that background, just to kind of give it a little bit more of a personalized look. You can change what the social media share image is going to be. So again, when you go to post this on Facebook, you can change what that post is going to look like, what the image of it is going to look like. So change that to whatever you would like it to be. Again, always make sure that you click that green save button to change any edits that you're making. It's really running slow today. Okay, and then you can also change like the style and colors. So you can change the button color, the text color. You can change the text, so it's going to default to what is your Lake Ann home worth now. You can change that if you want, although that is pretty straightforward. Same things with the description text below that. Recent home sales have affected your home's value. Get your home's new value instantly for free. Pretty good, but if you want to change it, you're more than welcome to. Next is going to be the form fields. Again, this is just going to ask for their property address. So that's the information that they're going to enter in this box when they click on the page. Have the ability to change it. I would recommend keeping it the same. And then from there, you also have to edit the next page, which is going to be where they will enter in their contact information. So once they are on that home valuation page, they enter in their address and they click get that free home estimate. This is going to be the next thing that comes up. It's going to ask them for their information. Again, you can change any of the text if you want, or you can keep it. These bottom parts here where it says underneath page 2 is going to be the fields that you are requiring them to give you so you can contact them as a lead. So I would recommend making, the phone number maybe required. That way they have to enter it in, and then they click view my report. It's going to automatically pop that as a lead into your platform, and then also give you, their contact number so you can reach out to them. And I'll click right here to just view the landing page really quick so you guys can see what it looks like kind of in real time. So this is that first page. Enter your property address. Don't think I can see the second one without doing something here. Right here. Enter in the address, get value estimate. It's wanting me to continue with Facebook because I had that option checked. But now you can see it's going to take me into the next page. What's the price that I would want to sell it for? And then here is where I would enter in my name, email address, phone number that would transform into that lead. So does that make sense? That answer kind of the question on how these are used. They are pretty easy to use once you get the hang of it. It's just kind of making the edits and making it look how you want it to. That is probably the most challenging. But these are great tools, like I said, to use, especially if you're a single agent page and you're wanting to just gather more leads. These are a great way to kind of do that. Okay, I'm going to close out of this now and go back to our main Listings2Leads platform. And then I didn't realize before, but where we actually edit our auto posting social media is back in our profile section. I said that it was later, but I'm going to jump back into our profile section and go in and show you how you can edit those social media posts. So I went to our profile section here. I went to auto posting across the top, and then I clicked on listings. This is where you can edit the default post for any of your social media posts, what they will look like. So whether you do auto posting or you are going in and customizing the post for each status, this is going to be where you kind of set that default option for all of your posts. So the first thing that I like to point out is you can customize the post for each status. I'm going to check that box. And you can see now we have all these different options. So we have a coming soon post, a just listed, open house, active, pending, just sold, and price reduced. Now you do have to go in, if you do utilize auto posting, you have to toggle these on and off. So if you don't want coming soon posts to go onto your page, you have to select them off, turn on anything that you want. So just go through and make those changes, check what you want. And then for actually creating the post, if you haven't been in here before, these boxes are actually going to be empty. And it has the text over here. You just click this green copy and paste button. and it's going to pull all of this stuff from this left-hand column over into the text box, which you then have the ability to edit to make your own. Anything that's within brackets, like here, for example, where it says status and city, that's going to automatically pull from the MLS, so that will change. I wouldn't change anything within the brackets on these posts just because it's going to automatically pull that in. But if you do want to take anything out, maybe you're not a hashtag person, you want to delete the hashtags or take the emojis out, change the emojis, add some more text in here, all you have to do is type in the box and then hit that save button up at the top. And like I said, this will then make this post kind of your default. So every time that a new just listed post goes out, it will say what you put in this box. So sorry I had to circle back to that. I thought that it was later on in the settings, but it was not. It was back at the beginning. Is there any questions on any of that? Feel free to unmute or type in the chat if you have them. Okay, I'm not seeing any. Oh, Tia raised a hand. Go ahead, Tia.
I don't have a question on this, but I have a question on listing status.
Uh-huh.
Do we need to go in and change the status?
From my understanding, it updates specifically between like just listed and listed. You can see like this one here says pending. I do not believe that it changes things to closed. I might have to do some more digging on that. But I do know it will switch things to pending and then, oh, it looks like there's a sold in there. I think that it does. It used to not really pull the statuses through, but I do think that that's an update that they made over the last couple of years. I think that the statuses do kind of change with the MLS, but again, the feed doesn't always work properly. That's why a lot of the times there's listings that are missing altogether and you have to grab them. So if you are wanting to kind of keep track of the statuses, I would just try and, remember to take a peek every once in a while and see if those are pulling in accurately for your office.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. All right, well, if no one else has any questions, then thank you for joining me. Hope to see you next time and have a great rest of your week.